Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Live, Learn, Love with Joys. I am so excited to have you back for another episode, yay! If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting new content. Today, we are talking about travel anxiety. I'm excited to talk about this topic. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back. So if you don't follow me on social media, on Instagram, make sure you go follow. So I did a poll a couple weeks ago, probably about my hair and about cutting and dyeing it. Well, here's the dye. The cut will follow soon, but here's the dye. So it took me a little while to actually accept this color, but I think it's starting to grow on me. I hid it for about a week and a half, but we're out now, so let's have a little fun. All right, so getting into today's topic is travel anxiety. I say I don't have travel anxiety, but when I started to think about my feelings or the way my body reacts when I'm traveling, I probably do have just a tad bit of anxiety. I did a poll on Instagram, hence why you need to follow me, about travel anxiety and what you do, who has it, just how do you address it. So travel anxiety, first of all, so they basically say it's like symptoms of regular anxiety or nervousness, but they can be different for everybody. So they can include like rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, nausea, agitation, restlessness, any of that. And so when I started to really look at it and really study, a lot of the times travelers will have anxiety, but we actually don't, I guess you can say, categorize it as anxiety. So for me, I can say that nausea is one. Restlessness used to be one. It used to be one like before, the night before. It still occasionally occurs, but definitely restlessness like on the plane, like if I'm on a long flight, that would occur. Nausea, rapid heartbeat. I would say my rapid heartbeat happens, of course, during turbulence. I think most of the time it happens for anybody, but certainly during my first flight, I was gripping the armrest, but my heart was going crazy. I was extremely nauseous. I had a panic attack on my first flight, on my first landing, should I say. So I was okay when we were departing. I was okay when we were taking off. But when we landed and then them wheels hit that road, your girl was in full-blown panic, okay? But I asked y'all on Instagram, what are some things that you do that will help you when you're traveling, that'll help you with your travel anxiety? And some of you said something to squeeze and just to breathe in and out. Speaking of something to squeeze, armrest, or have like a little, like a fidget in your hand. I know that helps me a lot of the times, even when I'm not traveling, when I'm sitting at my desk, that helps me. When I'm in meetings, having a fidget or something, that helps me. Somebody said Benadryl, and reminding myself that people do this all the time. That is so funny. Another response was music and Clorox wipes. So Clorox wipes, I think that's like a new addition ever since the pandemic. I think that's a new addition. I can say for myself, I can't say for everybody else. I was not, I'm not gonna say privy, but I was not my first priority to pack Clorox wipes for the plane before the pandemic. Now that we're in the pandemic, you can catch me with everything on deck. Clorox wipes. Listen, they used to have Lysol travel, like the little travel cans. Honey, you could have caught me with that before this pandemic. But now I can't find it, so anyways. Somebody said preparation. Yes, prepare. So a lot of the times when I'm traveling, especially by myself, I do my due diligence. I research one, where I'm going, what's the language, what the people are like, and then I also map out what I want to do while I'm there. So my activities, where I want to eat, where I might want to walk by and just kind of chill. But preparation is so key when you are traveling. I'm a person, if you watch my last episode, you know that I keep all of my documents on my phone. So my boarding pass, other than my ID, but my boarding pass, all that stuff is online. I have the airline apps. So whoever I'm flying with, if something changes, it's all on my phone. And for those of you who are thinking, well, anything could happen to your phone. Your phone could break. Your phone could, I don't know, get dropped in water. It could go dead. Well, I do have a portable charger, but as far as the breaking and the dropping in water and things, that isn't something I prepare for. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Knock on wood. I don't have wood, but it works. Well, I mean, there's actually wood in this wall because the studs and stuff. Okay, moving on. Someone said, this is probably one of my favorite answers only because this is something I can relate to closely. So I say cocktail or 4. So I'm a person who, I don't mind having a drink or 2 before I get on the flight. And then when I get on the flight, I might have another just to calm down, just to simmer down, to truly relax. I certainly want to stay aware of my surroundings. So getting drunk is not in the question. Certainly when I'm traveling, because I want to stay aware, period. Especially if I'm traveling by myself, which is the majority of the time. But I can say that I've had a cocktail or 2 before getting on a flight. And I may have had another when I got on the flight. Yeah, that's something. And speaking of, might as well take a sip. This is really good tonight. This is a sparkling Moscato. Comment below if you really interested, and I'll tell you the name. It's so good. Okay. All right. And my last but not least answer that someone gave me is the funniest, is I just don't travel. To address your anxiety, you just don't travel. I'm just gonna say, personally for me, I cannot relate. I related in the pandemic when traveling obviously was shut down. We had no choice. But me not traveling at all, if you know me, you know that traveling is at my heart. So me not traveling, it's just, I don't see it. I don't see it. But if that's the way that you address your travel anxiety, you just don't travel. You got to do what works best for you, okay? I'm gonna tell you what works best for me. I'm gonna put that mask on. I'm gonna spray a disinfectant. I'm gonna wipe down them seeds. And I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray that God keep me. I'm gonna pray that all my precautions are not in vain, okay? I'm gonna pray that my prayer to keep me safe and to keep everybody around me safe, because when I get on a plane before we take off, I make sure I pray. I pray for me, I pray for everybody, I pray for the captain, I pray for the flight attendants. I don't know what's going on in your mind. I don't know where you're going to. I don't know who you're going to see. But all I know is I want everybody on that plane to get to wherever they need to be, whether that be to their family, whether that be to another job, whether that be wherever. I want everybody to get there safely. That is so important to me. And if there is any suggestion that I can say for traveling at all, period, anxiety or no anxiety, before the plane leaves the tarmac, make sure you pray. Yes, I can have a few cocktails. Yes, I can have my wipes. I can have my mask on. I can prepare all of that. But my peace, it lies in Jesus. I thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Let me give y'all a story about the most anxiety I have ever had on a trip. So My first trip traveling outside of the 50 states, I say 50 states because it's technically not international, but it's not a part of the 50 states. It's a US territory. It's Puerto Rico. So I went to Puerto Rico. That was my first trip by myself. It was my birthday. And yes, I had other plans prior to that trip. However, those plans fell through. And I decided to go to Puerto Rico by myself. Well, what do you know? I was doing great. I did my research. I am not fluent in Spanish, but I understand enough to, make it work. I understand enough. So I was headed there and I was talking with my friends, just with people who are close to me. And this one in particular person started just saying, "You weren't scared? Have you researched?" Well, I researched and I know what they do to women over there and da-da-da-da-da. Don't y'all know, my anxiety shot through the roof. Now, mind you, all these so I purchased my flight for Puerto Rico. I think it must have been 2 or 3 months before my birthday. My birthday's in December, so we're thinking September, October-ish. Don't you know, I convinced my family, some of my closest friends, and then I got this one in particular person who, caused my anxiety to shoot through the roof. Now, mind you, I have gone off by myself in France, in Spain. This is stuff I've already experienced. So I'm like, girl, what's the problem? But anyway, so my anxiety shot through the roof. And y'all, had anxiety almost the majority of the trip, okay? Now, mind you, I still had a great time. I still met some great people. But I was just, I don't want to say paranoid, but every time I was out by myself outside of the hotel or it was nighttime or something like that, it wasn't daytime, I was always just remembering those thoughts of what that person had told me. And honestly, yes, I know people always want you to be cautious when you're traveling, especially by yourself. But honestly, that kind of was like a Debbie Downer for me. I know that you cannot control what other people do, especially when you're traveling in an unknown territory. I know you cannot control what other people do. However, if you have a friend who is traveling by themselves, and they've done this before, they do their due diligence, express your concern, but don't gadger your worry into them. You don't know how that's affecting them. They could be calm, cool, collected about getting ready to travel, preparing to travel, wherever. But just make sure, express your concern, but don't repeatedly, push them into that. Travel Anxiety 101. Preparation. Do what works for you, okay? If you gotta travel, I can say as a baseline, prepare. Do your due diligence, research, make sure you map out what you wanna do, where you wanna go, what you wanna eat. Look at the weather, okay? Look at the weather. That is the biggest piece of advice I can give you, is look at the weather, okay? But prepare. Preparation, that's the baseline for anything. Traveling anywhere by yourself, with somebody, with a group. Preparation. Thank y'all for listening again. This is my 3rd episode. That makes me excited, y'all. That makes me excited. I love y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.